Brian, why do you think so many people feel like the financial decisions they make has to be the perfect one?
A lot of people are nervous they're going to run out of money. If they were to make a mistake, they feel like it's completely detrimental and they can't rebound from it. It can make it worse depending on how you handle it.
Like, do you think the pressure trying to always make the best financial decision actually makes people worse with the money over time? Or why not?
The humans constantly keep evolving. We keep making things better, more profitable.
Someone has extra money. How should they think about the difference between using it to enjoy their life now versus putting it towards their future and enjoying their life then?
Most people who have credit card debt spent it on stupid shit. I mean, money's a tool, right? Normally the people who succeed in Vegas are the ones who go in with a plan. And once they hit that number, they're like, hey, I'm done.
So let's just ask the question everyone's already thinking. Should you pay off your mortgage or should you invest?
Good question.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, sir?
Very good.
Good. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Bonfire Joe.
Bonfire Joe.
Brian, why do you think so many people feel like the financial decisions they make has to be the perfect one?
Because I feel like if they were to make a mistake, they feel like it's like completely detrimental and they can't rebound from it. And I think that gets even worse the older you get, right? Because like when you're young, you're working, you have an income, you have more flexibility in the sense of like if you screw up, income's still coming in.
Yeah.
But when you get to a point when you're retired and income is no longer coming in, the mistake can feel insurmountable, right? Like it's in the sense of like I got no backup, right? So if I F up, in essence, it could mean that I have to go back to work or I can't maintain my lifestyle, right? So there's a ton of fear that compounds with not having that income that you make come in anymore.
Yeah, no, that's good. That totally makes sense. What do you say? Do you think the pressure trying to always make the best financial decision actually makes people worse with the money over time? Why not?
Ooh, it's a good question, but the fact is I think it can make it worse depending on how you handle it, right? And like I guess what I mean by that is that if you let doom sit in constantly of like, oh, I made a mistake, oh, I made a mistake, oh, I made a mistake, or I'm making a mistake, right? It's like this constant compounding effect of like, oh crap, like I'm always in this situation where I'm messing up and not making the right decision, right? And then so everything is bad.
Yeah.
Which it isn't.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the world does have from time to time that it sucks, right? Like
Sure.
The markets suck from time to time. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
The fact is though, like if we go back in time over history, the market itself has continually rebounded, right? It's continually gotten better, right? The humans constantly keep evolving. We keep making things better, more profitable, like improving lifestyles, improving the standard of living, right? It keeps getting better. That has consistently happened over time.
Sure.
Right? And so to think that human nature isn't going to continue, I think is a fallacy. And so like, despite all the bad stuff, we probably are going to get through it, right? And so I think for some people to be like, oh, I made a mistake, it was like, you didn't really make that big of a mistake. You just have to kind of work through it to be like, okay, maybe I messed up a little bit over here, right? And the fact is like, I think when you're investing in retirement, right? Like when you don't have the income, I was talking before, like to that extent, you can mess up, but you have to be careful in the sense of like, don't mess up on a big scale, right? Like if you're going to invest, right? And let's say you're going to buy Dogecoin, right? Like maybe do $10,000, not $100,000.
Sure.
Right? Like there's very.
We don't like Elon.
Right? And like not saying like that, it's just the fact of like obviously it's an unproven thing, right?
Sure.
Like if it hit, everyone would have been really happy. But if it doesn't hit, like don't make that bet so big that you're going to like be catastrophically destroyed.
Like regret it or whatever the case
Right.
is.
You know, it's like, I mean, it's the same thing. I hate to use this analogy, but it is kind of true. It's like when you go to Vegas, right? And you go to the casino, right? Like normally the people who succeed in Vegas and don't end up losing everything are the ones who go in with a plan, right? Like they go in with like, I'm going to spend or bet or gamble $1,000, $100, whatever that number is. And once they hit that number, they're done. They're like, hey, I had a good weekend, I had a good night, I'm done. Great, right? If they hit big, fantastic, amazing, they'll tell great stories to all their friends when they get home.
Yeah.
Right? If they lose it all, they're still gonna tell their friends they did great and everything else, but the fact is they have less money.
I've done that.
Right?
You've probably done that too.
Of course, everyone has. Right? But you still had a good time, right?
100%.
Right? The problem is like I lose, like I said, I'm gonna only bet $1,000, right? And now I'm down $1,000, and now I go back to the ATM and I get another $1,000 because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna double down, I'm gonna win. That's when you're gonna get in trouble, right? And it's the same thing like when you're investing, right? A Dogecoin, right? If I'm gonna do, $10,000, if that's a very small percentage of my net worth, fine, no big deal. If I'm gonna do that in a certain stock, same thing, right? Or an investment, or whatever it might be, make sure that investment, right, if it has a ton of risk to it, is within what you're comfortable losing.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. What does the audience need to understand about?
I mean, money's a tool, right? In the sense of like how it's like a game, right? You constantly are playing it.
Yeah.
It never stops. Game never ends until you die. But to that end, right? Like every investment, every decision you make, right, is going to like affect your money, right? So like if you were to buy a house and pay it off, well, now that's less cash you have invested you have to live off your expenses. If you don't pay off your house, obviously you still have a monthly payment that's high that you have to pay off every single month, right? So it's a constant trade-off of trying to figure out what's going to be the best move for you, right? And so money there's never like a finite answer of like, this is exactly how you do it for everyone.
Sure.
Right? Because everyone's situation is slightly different of like when they bought their house, how they bought their house, did they overextend when they bought their house, or are they, living in a house well below their means because they're just happy with it, right?
Sure.
And they just don't care. Those two types of people are different, right? But money in itself, it's a tool, right? And it's a game, and you have to constantly be thinking of it that way, no matter whether you're working or whether you're in retirement, right? And so there's always trade-offs, right? There's no panacea. There's no perfect one thing fits all things are great. It's a matter of being like, okay, this decision outweighs everything else and makes the most sense for us and me. I'm gonna do it.
No, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Brian, when someone has extra money, how should they think about the difference between using it to enjoy their life now versus putting it towards their future and enjoying their life then?
Yeah, that is a fine line because you can go one way or the other real fast. Right?
100% true.
Right, and so, like, and I call it a fine line, right? Because in the sense of that, and it's really, I think the crux of a lot of what we help people with, right, is that a lot of people are nervous they're gonna run out of money, right? I think it's the number one fear most retirees have is, am I gonna run out of money? And I don't know if it's really, am I gonna run out of money per se, or is it that I'm not going to be able to live the lifestyle I'm currently living, right? I'm not like, if I have a club membership, I won't be able to pay for the club membership. If I have, something else, I won't be able to do it, right? It's that fear of that your luxuries or the things that you've come to enjoy may have to decrease because you don't have enough money, right? Not so much that I'm going to run out of money and I have to go, be a Walmart greeter or something like that, right? That's the old saying. Like, I don't think it's that. I think it's my lifestyle decreases, right?
Okay.
It's probably the bigger thing, but it's easier just to sum it up. Am I going to run out of money? So to that end, right, of like, how do you save for tomorrow yet enjoy today? Right? Like
that's the question.
It's the key question, and I think it's twofold in the sense of that. In the two scenarios that you can be in, right? In the accumulation phase, right? When you're working and you're saving, it's slightly different than when you're in retirement, right? And so if you're in the accumulation phase, I think it's pretty easier to be like, okay, hey, let me put away money, let me make it automatic, and let me not think about it.
Yeah.
Right? And come up with a number that's gonna work and gonna get me to where I think I need to be. And then everything else, go blow it on whatever you want, right? Like, right? And to an extent, right?
To an extent.
But I think I can say go blow it on whatever you want because you've already saved,
Yeah.
Right? Like you've already maximized your 401k plan. You've already maximized your Roth. You've already maximized your HSA. You've already done this, right? Those are all automatic. And then everything that's left over, go do whatever you want, right? Go spend it, right? Like go on the great vacations, go have, you know, the sports cars, go have whatever extravagant events you want, right? Like do it because, you know, you only do get one life and tomorrow's never guaranteed for any of us.
Sure.
Right? So be smart, but live the life. When you get to retirement, right, it's kind of maintaining that lifestyle, right? Like once you hit retirement, I always use kind of a stair-step analogy with clients of like, you know, when you first like got out of college or high school or whatever it is and you started working, right? Like it's pretty terrible, right? Dare I say shitty, right? Like
100%.
Right? But no one cares, right? Because you're on your own, you're loving it, it's fantastic, right? You eat ramen, you're in a one-bedroom like studio place, whatever, it works, right?
It's true.
But then you step up, right? And then you're in a little nicer place. And then you take another step up, and then you're in a little nicer place. And then you step up again, right? And then you get kids, you get family, right? And then boop, 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 right? And now you're at this stair step of whatever stair step you reached with your career, lifestyle, family, whatever it is. You don't want to go back.
Yeah, it'd suck.
Right? You don't want to take a step back. You're not really like, hey, I got to go to the next rung. You just want to stay, right? On that stair step. You're like, I made it here. I'm pretty happy here. Let's just stay right there.
Yep.
And so to that end, it kind of is, all right, now you're on more of a, I don't want to call it a budget, but it technically is, right? Like you know the level of lifestyle you're going to be maintaining. And so at that point in time, it's like making the decision so that you're like, hey, this keeps me in that lifestyle, but this decision is not, right? So like, let's say you're taking a trip to Europe, right? Like if you reach the rung where you're like, hey, I'm gonna fly business class, fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't book a trip at first class unless it was complimentary.
Sure.
Right?
That makes sense.
That's like, obviously, yes, you know what? That's probably going to be an amazing experience. We've all seen it on YouTube of like those suites. They look awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But the fact is that's not the stair step you're on.
Yeah.
Right? So unless it's complimentary or unless you earn points or unless you did some way to manipulate it, don't go spend the extra money that isn't in that stair step.
Yeah.
Right? If you will, right? Like maintain that lifestyle. And I think that's the key piece, because then what I'm saying is that you're making decisions to live your life, but those decisions aren't jeopardizing your future. What jeopardizes your future is basically, almost on any level, living beyond your means.
Sure, 100%. And you talking about future reminds me of just like goal setting. And so how clear are the most people that you work with on identifying what their goals actually are?
I would say the older the individuals get, the more clear they are.
Okay. Explain it, like, why?
I mean, I don't know if I know the exact reason why. As far as the psychology behind it, it's just something I've kind of seen, right? And I think it's maybe just more like acceptance, maybe, of their lifestyle or of experience. Who knows? Right, but I've seen that as I work with clients, like the younger they are, they have all these aspirations, right? So the goals are bigger.
Yeah.
Right, or they have kids, you know, and the like, you know, maybe aren't in college yet, or they are in college and they don't know where they're going to end up, or whether they have grandkids or not. And so like, the goals are, I want to be able to go see my grandkids. Well, you don't know whether you have grandkids or not.
It's true.
Right, so it's like a goal, but you don't know if that goal will ever come to fruition, because you don't really have control over that. And so to that end, right, it's a matter of the older people get, the more precise they are in exactly what they are, because I think they now know the variables, right? Like someone in their 70s and 80s probably knows exactly like what their kids are doing right now, right? Like to a certain extent, right? They know whether there's grandkids or not, right? And everything else, and so they can kind of decide that. They probably have traveled, done a few things. They know what they want to do and what they don't want to do, and they're kind of stuck in like, hey, I like this kind of thing. Versus when you're, you know, in your 40s, 30s, 50s, right? Like maybe you haven't experienced it. And you're like, I don't know if I like it, but it sounds cool, so let's put it on there, right? And so to that extent, I think the goals, you know, I think start really broad when we're really young, and they get narrow, narrow, narrow as we get older.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. When people say, I should invest this money. You know, when they get money, you know, when they start working, they get their first job and they're like, man, you know, I have all my bills covered somewhat, or I have an extra 50, 100 bucks, but I should invest this money. What do you think they actually believe investing actually is?
Honestly, I think it goes back to the question of like, they don't want to make a mistake, right? In the
Yeah.
sense, and so they're like, I made this money. I don't need this money to maintain my lifestyle right now. I know that if I keep it in cash, I'm basically losing money because of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the rich or the smart people, they're investing. So I should too.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, honestly, it is a good thing. You should invest the money, right? But it's a matter of like, what do you invest it in, right? And the world in which you can invest money in is broad, right? Like you can invest it in many, many different things and ways, which is both good and bad.
Why do you feel like it's so hard for people to think long term with their money? We're getting into more of the psychology aspect.
No, we are, which I mean is.
I feel like identifying, you know, how people perceive, project, and approach money and stuff, I feel like is critical elements to be able to depict where they go in their life with the money.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, why do people have
Such
a hard time looking into the future or thinking long term with their money?
Correct.
Honestly, I think it's because the future is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right? And what I mean, what I say that's unpredictable, right? Like if I'm planning for retirement, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to retire at 65, right? Very traditional.
Very traditional.
I'm going to retire at 65.
Hopefully you retire soon.
Well, hopefully, right? Everyone hopes that.
No,
But let's say 65 just for this example, right? So 65, I'm going to retire. The facts are, right? Like I could live from 65 to shoot, I could probably live to 100. Right? That's 35 years.
Yeah.
That's literally the same amount of time probably that, you know, or close to it that I worked.
Yeah. That's fair.
Right? Almost. Right?
Almost.
Maybe not. It's
Give or
pretty
take.
close, give or take. Depending on when you started, how long you were in school, everything else, right? There's a lot of variables to it, right? But that's a long time, right? Like, and if you go back in time for like, you know, someone who's that age, right? From 65 now, I'm going back to they were 30, right? If you look at someone's life between from when they're 30 to 65, in some cases it went from they were like they got married, they had a family, they had a career, and now they're retiring. Like the amount of change that happened in their life in 35 years is like unimaginable sometimes.
Wow.
Right? So then
Never thought of it like that. Oh my goodness.
So then when you think about it as I'm 65, I'm going to retire. Now I have another 35 years. It's like, holy crap, what else could happen in the next 35 years? Right? And so I think it almost gets to the point of like the possibilities are like unimaginable because you look at how much exponential growth you had within the last 35 and you're like, is that going to continue or is it not going to continue or like what's going to happen? And so that's why I think we have such a hard time kind of viewing out into the future, right? Because I think most people will, there's an old saying that most people underestimate or overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in 5 or 10 years.
Yep.
Right? Because you can't fathom that difference in time. 1 year seems easy to manage and you're like, I can do everything in this year. But 5 years seems like a long time. And so you don't normally look out 5 years. And then now I'm imagining 35. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, even with me, in 5 years, I went from graduating high school to getting married to having a kid, you know, and building my own business and stuff, you know. Just crazy.
And that was a short period of time.
That's a short 35 years is crazy.
Yeah. Imagine what happens in the next 35.
If we make it to that point,
that's a whole nother story.
so we won't get into the politics. When someone comes to you and approach, they're like, hey, I want to start investing. Before you encourage them on what to invest into first, what should already be in place for them?
Before they invest.
Before they invest.
I mean, it's like kind of the fundamentals, right?
Paint the fundamentals.
As far as the fundamentals go, pretty simple, right? No consumer debt. right? Because that just eats you alive.
Well, okay.
And so consumer debt,
Yeah.
I will say, consumer debt is pretty simple, right? So that's like credit cards, right? On whatever you spent it on, right? If you have credit card debt, it is bad debt, right?
My wife
For the
did
most
that.
part, right? Or whatever it is. You can have all the excuses you want. But the fact is like, it's very rare, because you'll always hear these stories, right? Of like someone who started their business on credit cards or something like that, right? Which I get, and I'm gonna like, put over here, right? It's a very small percentage. Most people who have credit card debt spent it on stupid, right? Like
Fair.
it was a vacation,
In
it
and
was
out.
a TV, it was whatever it was going out, drinking, it was Vegas, it was whatever it is, right?
Totally agree.
You know, it was something dumb. It could have been, you know, something for the kids, it could have been something for your wife, it could have been something for your husband, whatever it is. You probably didn't need it, and it definitely was beyond your means, and that's the problem,
Yeah.
right? So no consumer debt, and the reason for it is because people come to me like, oh, I should invest, right? And here's my reason for it is that on a credit card, typically the interest rate is going to be anywhere between 12 to maybe 18%.
On
right?
a credit card?
Yeah, could be more,
Yeah.
right? But let's just
Mine's
say
26%.
all right, 26%, right? Right, so let's just say it's in that realm of
Totally.
even 12 to 18,
Yeah.
right? When you go to anyone who's investing, right? Whether you do it yourself, you hire someone, whatever it is, right? To get 12 to 18% is a really good year,
That's a great year.
right?
Yeah.
And no one can guarantee it, right? Like I don't care if someone says they guarantee that, run, because that's some BS. Right?
You hear that? Run.
Because I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just
Totally.
saying they can't guarantee it's going to happen, right, in the future. Because no one can predict the future. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you even look at Warren Buffett, like he's done it for many, many years, right? And like there were certain years he didn't hit that.
Sure. We can't do Will Smith and the Genie.
Yeah,
the Genie.
no, exactly. Yeah, doesn't happen, right? But on your credit card debt or your personal, this personal debt that you have, right? That's at 12 to 18%. If you pay it off, I can guarantee you aren't going to pay that interest because you paid it off,
Yeah.
right? And you honestly made 12 to 18% because you just paid it off, right?
Oh,
Because
that's
that's more money in your pocket.
Yeah. That's a good. Way of thinking of it.
So that's why it's, you know, first and foremost, pay that off, because in essence, if we make 5% over here, but you're paying 12, that's not ideal.
So we talked about credit card debt. We talked about just like, you know, loan debt and stuff. What's the other element, would you say, when it comes to before you should invest outside of debt? Let's move debt off to the side. Is there anything else that you're like, hey, I really encourage someone to have this in place before you even consider start investing your money?
So as far as going to the fundamentals, right? No
Sure.
consumer debt.
Yep.
The second one is, I say, an emergency fund, right?
Okay.
And
What-
I think
what is that?
Emergency fund is probably the key thing that people get and then screw up, right? And I don't care, like this could happen almost at any level of income, right? And so what I mean by that is an emergency fund is funds that are liquid, that you can access quickly, that probably is anywhere between 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, right? And the reason people screw it up is they save it, right? And so they put it aside, they have it in a cash account, maybe it's making some interest in a money market or something like that. It's still liquid though, they can get to it anytime. Life happens, right? Like they need a new roof, they need a new water heater, car breaks down, kids need something, health problem, right? The list is endless of what life can throw at us, right? And they dip into that emergency fund,
Yeah.
right? And then, so they use it, and then they don't replace it, right? So they just keep like drawing down the emergency fund and not replacing it, right? And the whole point of having that emergency fund is that if you use it, you replace it, because life doesn't just happen once. It happens over and over and over again, right? It has a way of doing it. We can't predict what's gonna happen in the future, but I can almost be very certain to say that it isn't going to just not happen again, right? Like if you got everything perfectly in place and everything all aligned, right? You got this account set up and this account set up, your house is in order, cars are in order, right? Like to think that nothing's gonna go wrong, not a chance,
Sure.
right? And
100%.
like that's just not going to happen, right? Like, you know, the refrigerator goes out, the washing machine goes out. Those things constantly happen, right?
Yeah.
And if you constantly keep pulling from this account, your financial security dwindles because now you don't have that safety net anymore
Gotcha.
because you used it
Yeah. No,
on a previous life problem.
That totally makes sense. Now, let's say someone don't have any consumer debt.
Perfect.
They also have a emergency fund set up.
Love it.
All right. So let's just ask the question everyone's already thinking. Should you pay off your mortgage or should you invest?
It's a good question. The real question is, or answer is how it's going to be depending on what interest rate you have on your house.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, right, is we just came off of like an amazing historical lows of interest rates.
Yeah. That's so specific. Yeah. Hit on why.
Well, obviously, I mean, we came off of what, 10, 12 years of almost 0% interest rates, which means mortgages anywhere between, you could have like some are in the 2s and a lot of them are in their 3s. You could still have some in the 4s, right? So you have interest rates, right? And they're really low.
Okay.
Like if you had a mortgage, let's say you have a 2%, 3% mortgage, right?
Oh, that's great.
Right? Fantastic. A lot of people have them, right? Here's the thing, is if I were to take my money, extra money, and I put it in one of the safest investments I can, which is a U.S. Treasury, a 1-year U.S. Treasury,
Okay.
right? It's roughly paying close to 4% depending on any given day, right now.
It's paying out 4%.
Paying out. Like I make, that person, if you invest in it, would be making close to 4. It all depends on the day because they fluctuate all the time.
Can you briefly just hit on what is U.S. Treasury?
Basically debt that you borrowed against the United States government. So it's backed by the full faith and credit of the government to say, hey, we'll pay you back, right? So all joking aside, right, it's a pretty safe bet. The U.S. government's going out of business anytime soon, and they still pay it during shutdown, so it's still like, it's pretty solid,
Okay.
right? Leave that over there.
Yeah.
But my point being is it's extremely safe. I could also use CDs, right? Bank CDs, right? A lot of those are paying anywhere between probably like 3.5% to 4%, depending on the day right now, even with interest rates have come down this year, or last year, I should say. So if we look at that, right? Let's say you have a 3% mortgage. Well, if I take extra cash and instead of paying off this 3%, I put it over here and I make 3, I just made more like than what I would have if I paid off the house. The house is the same, right? And the house is going to appreciate whether I pay it off or not.
Yeah.
Right? And so now I'm making money off my extra cash. I still have my house that I'm paying my principal and interest on, which is great, right?
Sure.
So that's fantastic. I still have the timeline of when it's going to get paid off, whether it's 15, 20, or 30 years.
Sure.
Right? So it's going to get paid off. I know the schedule. But now I'm making extra money off of it. And if I wanted to then pay the house down with my interest I made off of my investment over here, I certainly could. But now I have cash working for me, still have my house that's appreciating, and I'm moving forward. And that's on the low side of things. Think of if I invested in something that made more than 3 or 4%.
Yeah.
The arbitrage is bigger, right? And so that's why it really depends on what interest rate you have. Could be the flip side, right? You have a brand new mortgage at like 6%.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense to probably pay down some of the principal because, right, like again, it goes back to that credit card thing I said is like that's a guaranteed, right? Because I make that guaranteed because now I don't have to pay it. Depends on the mortgage because with most mortgages, if you pay extra on the principal, it doesn't change your monthly payment.
Sure.
Right? Unless it's an interest only or something.
So pretty much what you're saying, just so I fully understand it, is if you have a house and it has, like an outstanding principal, but your interest rate is let's say 5.5 to 6+%, then you would say when the market gets to a point for you to refinance, well, put that money towards,
towards paying it down.
Then refinance?
I wouldn't refinance because normally when you refinance, it extends it, so then you're going to pay more in interest, so that's not ideal.
But even though you get a lower rate?
Yeah, but it extends it, right? So now the time frame that you have to pay has just extended it for another 30 years. So you're going to pay interest for another 30 years, and how mortgages work is that you tend to pay more principal at the beginning than you do at the end.
Sure.
Right? So you pay more interest at the beginning than you do in the end, right? And so if you refinance, all you're now doing is you're just gonna you lowered your monthly payment, but now all you're doing is paying interest. So the only one that really made money on that is the bank.
That's fair. That's fair.
It lowers your, it looks good cash flow wise, but if we're really just looking at it from a financial standpoint, you're gonna spend more.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. Brian, why does that one decision feel so big for people?
It's a big thing because a lot of the house for most people is their largest investment. One singular investment that they have, right? And so figuring out whether it's paid for or not paid for is huge. Because, in most cases, it's millions of dollars for them, right? As far as to their net worth. But it also has kind of a double-edged sword in the sense of, yes, it's $1 million to their net worth, but it also isn't any money you technically can use to pay for your living expenses, right? You can't go to the grocery store and say, hey, I would like to buy these eggs and whatever else you have in your cart and show up.
$9 eggs.
Yeah, $9 eggs and be like, I'm gonna pay with my home equity. That doesn't fly. They look at you like, I don't care. You're gonna pay with cash or card.
Yeah.
Is what they do,
That's
right?
fair.
And so it doesn't matter, but most people, obviously they assume they're like, oh, I got $1 million in my house of equity. It's fantastic. Which is not bad. And trust me, having a paid for house is a fantastic plan when you're in retirement because it lowers expenses and everything else, and it kind of just makes things a lot smoother. The fact is, though, it's still not going to help maintain your lifestyle.
That's good. No, that's really good. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that.
At the end of the day, it isn't about finding the perfect answer. It's about understanding your situation, your goals, and how you behave with money. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversations. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see you on the next one.